Andrew, Stephanie, thanks for accepting our invitation. Can you just present yourself and talk about Snowline, please?
Yeah, so my name's Andrew Turner. I'm the Exploration Manager for Snowline Gold.
Exploration Manager, yes.
Exploration Manager. I've been with the company since 2022.
Okay.
And Stephanie, Director of Marketing and Investor Relations, been with the company since 2022 as well. So we've really, both of us, seen the company evolve from a very early stage grassroots exploration to having a very substantial 7.3 million ounce deposit in all categories at our Valley deposit. So we're very excited to continue advancing that.
So the company, as you said, is an exploration company, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the first questions I most often ask to exploration companies is what about the cash situation at present time? Because this is, of course, one of the very strategic point, the key questions to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. So we currently have 43 million Canadian in our treasury. We just announced a financing yesterday for
Wow.
for $20 million. So once that closes, we'll have just over 60 million in the treasury, and that will give us a lot of runway into 2026.
And can you tell us more about the burn rate? How you are using this money? If you have the need to raise. This was an equity raise, or
it was a flow-through financing raise. Yeah.
So, what will it be used for? How will you use the proceeds?
Yeah, so we have a $30 million exploration program planned this year. We drill from May to October, and within that we will focus roughly 2/3 of that budget towards advancing and de-risking our Valley Gold deposit, and then the remaining 1/3 will go to regional exploration on the portfolio.
To reflect once again, most, if not all, the exploration takes place in the US, right?
All in the Yukon Territory in the northwest of Canada.
Oh, Yukon.
So
okay.
close to Alaska.
Close to Alaska, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And can you summarize your past performance for the last 2 years? And did you get any exits? Could you transfer your exploration proceeds to production companies, or how did it go?
Do you want to touch on that, Andy?
Yeah, I can talk to that. I think so. Sort of over the last few years, we've been focused mainly on exploring and the Valley deposit. So the Valley deposit was discovered in 2021 at the very end of the season, and in June last year, we released our initial resource estimate. We released our initial MRE, mineral resource estimate, on Valley. So we've very quickly taken that project from a grassroots discovery to the MRE, and the figures were 7.3 million ounces of gold at an average grade of 1.4 grams per tonne. So that's been our main focus for that time. In that time, we've had one strategic investment from B2 Gold. So they took a 9.9% stake in the company along the way. They're a sort of a silent partner. They don't have any voting rights on the board, and they're just a very happy shareholder right now.
Okay. Yeah. How do you think the situation with evolve with B2 Gold? They are a producer, right?
They're a producer, so they have a lot of assets both in North America and in Africa. For now, they've exchanged their voting rights for the right to maintain a 9.9% stake in the company, and to date they've done that.
I think we've met another company whose investor was B2 Gold this morning. Can you remember who it was?
I know, I remember.
Okay. There is a project called the Rogue project that I found out. Is it the one in Yukon? But how many projects do you have currently?
So we have 8 assets total, 8 gold-focused assets total. Okay. The Rogue project really has...
it's the biggest one?
Yeah, it's been the flagship project over the past few years because of that substantial gold deposit that we found there. But really the reason that we focused in on it in depth is because the type of deposit it is. It's called a reduced intrusion related gold system. They often occur in clusters. They don't really need. They're simple to understand. They don't need a ton of drilling to get a good understanding of what you have there. So they occur in clusters, and that's what the Rogue plutonic complex is made up of. And so our focus has largely been there.
Okay. Do you have any debt? If so, do you have any strategy for debt management? No?
We have no debt.
Okay, well, that's good. I have a question about risk management, but it's not so much an issue, I guess, with Snowline because you are operating in Canada, you're headquartered in Canada, you don't have any currency dependency like most other explorer companies who are operating in South America or other exotic parts of the world.
Yeah, it's very... none of that really. The only comment I have on that is the Yukon is quite a favourable jurisdiction to explore.
I would say all of Canada, not?
Yeah, all of Canada rates very highly on the Fraser Institute on rankings of places to be exploring. So, yeah, very low risk.
Okay. And do you have any social engagements in this part of Canada, Yukon?
Yeah,
social programs or some things like this?
Yeah.
Most explorer companies do that. So.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's something that we've worked hard at since day one of becoming Snowline as a company, is engaging with the local First Nations. We actually power our exploration camp by a solar panel array that we lease off the local First Nation. So we effectively help them launch their green energy company with the initiative, and so while that's been a very good relationship builder, it also reduces our carbon footprint, which is important to us. So that's just one of many examples of ways we're working with the First Nation and view them as a partner as we move forward.
If I go back to the Rogue project, what's the expected path to production right now from now?
Yeah, so the sort of next thing on the timeline will be an update to the initial mineral resource estimate. So that'll be coming out by the summer, so sort of by the end of Q2 this year. And following that, we've now sort of just kicked off the PEA, preliminary economic assessment. So we expect to see that by the end of the year. And then we'll take looking further forward, we'll move on to sort of economic assessments and feasibility studies, but we don't have a timeline on that yet.
Okay, now if we talk, I have a question about the financial aspect, investment aspects. How do you communicate with your shareholders? Do you use, of course, I guess you have a website, do you use X, Twitter, or some other communication means? How often do you communicate? Are you satisfied with your communication strategy?
Yeah, we regularly communicate with our shareholders. We have regular news flow that goes out. It's distributed through our email newsletter, also by social media. We, put a lot of effort into our social media and connecting with our shareholders there, as we realize it's a great place you can have a lot of reach and grow a community online. But at the same time, our CEO and I do a lot of in-person travel and meetings, around the world. And so I think getting that FaceTime combined with having an online presence has been extremely effective for us.
How big of a company is Snowline? I'm not talking about the Yukon exploration, but just the people managing the company. How big is it?
Yeah, so we've got about 10 full-time people on the management team, so pretty small team.
That's usually the case, yes?
Yeah, absolutely. We are starting to grow. We're currently hiring for a VP engineering as we move, closer to the development phase. So the team is growing as we grow as a company, but to date we've been pretty lean and mean, and each person has their specific role, and also at the same time wearing many hats because we are a small team. So, but it's worked quite well so far. This will be my final question. There are quite a lot exploration companies. How do you distinguish yourself, and more specifically, what would you say to French viewers who are potential investors in the company to attract them to invest into Snowline? Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. We have tried to separate ourselves from the rest of the pack. There's many junior mining companies out there around the world. And from day one, our CEO and our chairman were having discussions about who we wanted to be as a company and how we wanted to conduct ourselves. And so they were really distilled into 4 points: environmental respect, going big, building community, and doing things right. So like I mentioned, we are environmentally conscious. The solar panel array.
Everybody says that they are environmental.
Yep, and like I mentioned before, the solar panel array, we were one of the very first exploration companies to ever implement that to power our exploration camp. We're always looking for ways to innovate and do things differently. We engage with the local First Nations. That's really important to us. We're also, committed to exceeding best practices. We've got a great team in the field. We're great stewards of capital, and those guiding principles are really, at the forefront of when we're making big decisions. If we ever come to a crossroad, we come back to those guiding principles that we have and make decisions based off those.
Okay.
Wow. Just add one more thing, if that's okay. Just the only other thing to add to that is really sort of just the asset, that we have a high quality asset. So it's not only sizable, 7.3 million ounces, but it's high quality. The grade occurs from surface, which is incredible, and it's got favorable mineable geometry to it, so it's like a beautifully shaped deposit, and it's also, the grade is very continuous, so we've got a lot of confidence in the deposit too.
Okay, that's good. Good to know for investors. Investors.
Exactly. And on top of that, we've got a district scale claim package as well. So whilst we've got Valley, which is the flagship and our main focus, we've got a pipeline of early stage gold targets, so more than 30 targets regionally to test and move forward.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Andrew. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Yes.